Hello, everyone. I am Miss Olson. I am one of the fourth grade teachers here at Lone Jack Elementary. I teach reading, writing, and science. So no matter what fourth grade class your student is in, they'll have me for one of their teachers. This is the start of my 5th year of teaching, and I've been in Lone Jack for 3 years. So I'm really excited to keep working with Miss Watterson and meet our new group of fourth graders coming in. So a little background about me. I have a bachelor's in elementary education from UCM. Okay, so go Mules. And then after I graduated with my bachelor's, I went on to get my master's in curriculum design and instruction from MU. You might recognize this guy. This is Mr. Johnson. He was the PE and music teacher at Lone Jack Elementary last year. He is now off at the middle school, high school, being the band director, so you'll definitely be seeing him around. But we are soon to be Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, so that will be an exciting part of our year. And then we also live in Warrensburg, Missouri, so not too far away from Lone Jack. I have the cutest pets. I have Louie the dog, who's a little bit ornery. I have Polly the bearded dragon. And then I also have Basil the cat, who is pretty sassy. Some of my favorite things, some of my favorite drinks would be coffee, cherry Coke, or tea. I absolutely love to read. It's one of my favorite things to do when I am not in school. Some of my favorite books would be like the Hunger Games series or the Harry Potter series as well. When I am not at school, I really love to camp or to go floating or kayaking. And I'm also pretty crafty, so I like to make shirts. I like to make signs using my Cricut Maker, which is shown in the picture there. I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm a Royals fan. Growing up, I played softball and I also did karate. So those are two of my favorite sports. I'm actually one of the coaches at our Lone Jack High School softball team. So that's exciting for this year. Some of my favorite stores or places to go would be Target, Dollar Tree, Applebee's, and I gotta have my coffee from Scooter's. So delicious. So real quick, I'm going to play through this classroom tour, and it's going to show you how to get to our classroom from the front of the school, and it will also just give you a quick little tour of what our classroom looks like. Yay! Mm-hmm. All right, so if you need to rewatch that again, I will be sharing this slide with you, but we're gonna now talk about curriculum. So this year we will be using Amplify CKLA, which is a new curriculum that we have, and I'll also be adding in other supplemental resources and units to make sure we meet all of the Missouri learning standards for English language arts. And we will also be continuing to assess our Lone Jack kids using standards-based grading. So if you're new to the district or you aren't familiar with standards-based grading, it's a 1, 2, 3, and then I like to sometimes use a 4. So 1 is I don't understand yet. 2 is I'm beginning to understand with help. 3 is I understand, and 4 is I can do this very well, and like I could teach this. I'm almost like a master at it. Okay, so we'll be given those grades based on 1, 2, 3, and then maybe sometimes even a 4. Here's our schedule. This is my classes schedule, so my homeroom schedule. Some just important things to note on here is on Mondays, we're gonna have our virtual Zoom meeting with everyone from 12 to 1:30. Okay, so I will have the first half of that, and then Miss Watterson will come on and she will have the second half of that time for a virtual instruction. Okay, and then Tuesday through Friday, you'll notice that the kids are going to switch to Miss Watterson's room or my room. And we'll also have plenty of restroom breaks and cleaning and rotating breaks in there as well. And then the last important thing to note is down at the bottom, highlighted in yellow, we're going to have 2 days a week where we have office hours. So on Monday, our office hours are from 1:30 to 2, and they'll be on Google Meet. And then Wednesday, 3:30 to 4 on Google Meet as well. So that will be just be a time where kids can hop on, ask us questions, kind of check in, especially connecting with those virtual learners on those times during those office hours to just see how they're doing. So this is our pacing guide. I'm not going to talk too much about it. I'm going to include this in the email that I'm sending this video with, so you'll be able to pull it up and see it. But throughout the year, I'm going to do my best to integrate reading, writing, and science together. Okay, so like if you take a look down at our geology unit here, it says Our Changing Earth. And that's going to take over our reading, writing, and science time, because I'm going to put some reading activities, writing activities, and science all in that. Okay, so I'm going to do a lot of integration. So definitely keep in mind that this is a tentative pacing guide, but this is going to kind of give you a good idea of what our year is going to look like. Virtual expectations, I won't talk too much about this because I will probably make another video with this information, but the main thing is to just be prepared, okay, be ready, participate, and be respectful. Okay, so like to be on time, find a quiet place, make sure you're muted, making sure you're staying focused. It's not show and tell time unless your teacher wants to have show and tell time. Okay, and try not to move around. Make sure you don't have any other devices on, like you're not watching TV just right off screen. Making sure you're not shoving chips in your mouth or anything, and making sure to raise your hand and have respectful questions, comments, and ideas. Okay, so we'll give you some more information about this, but that's just kind of our virtual expectations for definitely our Monday meetings, okay, and any other virtual meetings that we may have. So for science, I'm going to just talk through what some of our quarters are going to look like. So quarter 1, we're going to do intro to science, talk about energy, talk about natural resources. Quarter 2, we'll talk about waves, force and motion. We'll talk about circuits. Quarter 3, we'll talk about geology, rocks, earth. We'll also talk about simple machines, and we have an inventor project as well. And then for quarter 4, we'll talk about living things, the structure and function of those, and also endangered animals. For writing, we're going to do for quarter 1, intro to writing. We're going to talk about the writing process, opinion writing, and also descriptive writing. For quarter 2, we're going to write a fictional narrative, and that's going to be kind of tying into what we're doing in reading with some fairy tales and stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. For quarter 3, we're going to do personal narratives. We're going to write personal narratives as well as read personal narratives. We're going to do some poetry. We're going to be writing 5-paragraph essays, and we're also going to be doing some presentations as well. And quarter 4, we have our informative writing project, and then also presentations on those as well. For reading, quarter 1, it looks like intro to reading. We're talking about genres. We're going to talk about the 40 book challenge and comprehension strategies. So how are we understanding what we're reading? For quarter 2, we'll talk about poetry. We'll talk about drama and fairy tales, and we'll also do a reader's theater. For quarter 3, we'll read about personal narratives, read about memoirs, read some poetry, also work on our close reading skills, and then we'll also, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have Battle of the Books, which I'll explain later. And then we also have quarter 4, we're going to talk about digital media and literacy. We'll also have map testing prep. And then to kind of finish out the year, I've picked out some really good chapter books that we're going to read aloud kind of through map testing and through the end of the year. So some assessments, we have our AIMSweb assessment that we give every fall, winter, and spring. This will be just kind of a one-on-one assessment to kind of see how our kids are growing in reading and in math this year. The second assessment would be Edmentum diagnostics, and we do 4 of those throughout the year. And Edmentum is awesome because as they're taking the diagnostics, as they're taking this assessment, it's kind of dropping them down or bumping them up to where they need to be to meet their needs. And then once we do the diagnostics, they get put on a learning path that kind of goes with where they are instructionally, whether that's on a 4th grade level, whether that's a 5th grade level, or even a 3rd or 2nd grade level. Okay, so those Admentum diagnostics will be 4 times a year. For 3, we'll have beginning and end of year assessments. So for reading, I might give them a beginning of year assessment to just kind of see how they're doing. Maybe if they missed anything in 3rd grade, kind of see where I need to meet their needs there. And then at the end of the year, I'll also give that same assessment or something very similar to kind of see how they grew from the beginning to the end. Number 4 down there says unit pre and post assessments. So before maybe like a science unit, maybe before the geology unit, I might give them a pre-assessment to see their previous knowledge, their prior knowledge on it, see what they already know, see what they definitely do need to be taught, and then also give the same post-assessment at the end to definitely see their growth from the beginning of the unit to the end of the unit, and even see what maybe we missed. And then lastly, we have our MAP testing, 5 down there. Typically they happen in April or May. We did not have MAP testing this year due to the pandemic, but I have not heard anything that we are not going to be doing it this year. So we're still definitely going to prepare for our MAP testing, and we'll let you know when those dates are or if that changes closer to the springtime. So a couple more things before we wrap up. I'm always in need of STEM supplies. So whether that's toothpicks or paper plates and bowls, it could be yarn, playing cards, ping pong balls, marbles, any number of those things. I'm always in the search for them. I do have a pretty big STEM station, as you may have seen in our classroom tour. And so any things that are brought in, hopefully they're clean and we can just stick them over in our STEM station and they'll be ready for any projects or STEM activities that we do. And then I'm also in need of any soap, disinfectant, wipes or spray, and then also sanitizer. This year, I'd rather have more than enough than not enough. So thank you in advance for anyone who is going to help out with that. Again, no obligation, just figured I'd put it out there and see. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to email or call. My email address is down there, molson@lonejackc6.net. And then the phone number is 816-697-2811. And if you type in extension 129, you'll get it sent to my phone back here. If it's during the school day, I'll do my best to get back with you as soon as possible. And if it's after school hours, I might just have to get back to you the next business day. Okay, so any questions, please shoot them my way. I'm so excited about this year, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you.